just take the scream and put the pliers away, please. She's out of her mind. Yikes. All right, I'm hanging out with Cowboy Bob Orton. You're going into the St. Louis Hall of Fame, sir. How do you feel about that?
Oh, man, it's great. It's great. I can't wait. Some of them guys that are on there were my idols when I was a child, and to be a part of that group it's special.
It's very special, man. Your whole family's going to be here to induct you. How does that make you feel?
Great.
Of course it's great. Everybody's going to be here.
Yeah.
That's awesome, awesome. Congratulations, sir, and thank you for taking a moment of your time to hang out with me, Papa Dank, from New York's, well, Long Island, New York, really.
All right. Well, my pleasure. Hey, everybody in New York.
Thank you.
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Saw what I did to Crowbar. I want them all. It don't just stop at Ray Jazz. I want all these guys. I said this on your show before. I want Nick Gage. I want Shlak. I want Abdullah Kobayashi. I want the most violent guys. Bring me any of these guys. Matter of fact, I invite anybody. You know my title is the Invitational, so I invite all of you fucking bozos.
All right, thank you, Face, for joining me, and hope everybody is there. June 1st, make sure you get your tickets. Wrestling is now. Don't miss that event. It's going to be fantastic.
And if you got a mother, a cougar in your life, a grandmother, great-grandmother, shit, anybody over the age of 18 that's a female, bring them to me, and if they're just lucky, I might take them backstage with me.
I just want to say that was super rude of you to walk away from me earlier.
Talking to the New York State champion, you're going to have to pay up.
Do you take Kale?
Dude, goodbye.
Whipwreck, Cation, doesn't matter.
We'll see what happens, but it looks like we have a special guest.
Get my earplugs on.
No. You was looking for Tina, and then you talk about people dominate tonight, all right? The Dirty Deeds, they got nothing.
We're now the new Starlet Champion. What's going on?
Hi, I am fearless princess, so why not team up?
All right, now just announced by Mr. Joel Maximo for February.
Finisher is called the Shadow Band, and I was like, that's kind of...
Hold on. Let me speak. Okay?
But today I got a very special guest. I got the great... Welcome to Beyond the Barricade. I'm your host, Papa Dank, and today I have a very special guest. Let me bring to you the one, the only, the Cheese.
What up, baby?
Oh, what's up, brother? How are you tonight?
If I was any better, I'd be twins.
Whoa. That's a good one. I like that. All right, let's go over some events you got going on first. You have Big Bad Beatdown as you will be in action right there in Stanford, Florida on June 16th. Make sure you get your tickets if you are in the area. Do you know who your opponent will be that night?
That is going to be Daniel Lacey. So I've got the deck stacked against me that night. He's pretty...
All right, let's go to your next event. I can't even see. Pride of Wrestling. There it is. Pride of Wrestling. Pride Anniversary. Make it or break it. And you will be in action in a tag team championship. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh, my.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bodies flying around in that ring and hopefully a lot of cheese.
Dude, take care of yourself. Make sure you don't get caught by a table or something, man. All right, next up is All-Star Battle Volume 4. Once again in Sanford, Sanford, Florida. And I'm trying to see who is in the card besides yourself. Do you know who you're wrestling that night?
That night is a fellow by the name of Pretty Rich Wise. He is not pictured there.
Okay.
I can know who most of those people are. Ray Fury, Eddie Torres in the middle there. He's the All-Star champion. Joey Mayberry, the dad bod demigod, is to the right of him. I'm to the left of Eddie in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, so I could go naming all of them off, but I'll just name a few. But anyway,
All right.
fun. A lot of people familiar to the Florida scene.
Awesome. Awesome. And there it is, Pride Anniversary once again. There's more. Oh, Jay Lethal's gonna be there with you.
Yes, my trainer.
Jay Lethal's your trainer?
Yeah.
Oh. So we'll talk about that in a moment. All right, let's get into how you fell in love with professional wrestling.
So it was my maternal grandparents. Kind of formed a bond around when we could watch old NWA, and if we were able to pick up any local access because we lived out in the woods. And, just watching it with my grandparents was just a really big tradition type thing. And my grandfather, who was like a man's man, he was a coal miner, and then he went off to war in World War II, and back to the coal mines. But he loved pro wrestling. So I was like, if a guy who's that much of a, incredible human being loves pro wrestling, there's got to be something to this stuff. So,
Okay, all right. Who are some of your favorites growing up?
Sting is my ultimate favorite.
Stinger.
Yeah, I'm super excited because at the River City Wrestling Con that I'm going to be on in June 8th and 9th, he's going to be there, and I'm going to try my best to meet him.
Wow.
Aside from the Stinger, the Great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty.
And, guys
Love
like
Dusty.
Arn Anderson, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those were my guys. I love the characters, obviously, too. Like Gangrel and
Gangrel,
guys like that, and there were a lot of different crazy things with Raven Flock going on in WCW.
Right. I remember all that, man.
All the characters I really enjoyed, but my core guys would have to be those that I previously mentioned.
Okay, all right. Now I heard Arn Anderson may be making a comeback soon.
Oh man, he's got too much of a brilliant mind to stay away from the wrestling business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, now let everybody know, which you already did, but go over it again. Where did you go train? Who was your trainer or trainers, and what you went through that process? What you felt like?
Jay Lethal was he started school in Tampa, and there's been several kind of classes of us have gone through there. I don't know how many years he's been training, but for me it was over 5 years ago now. And he just that guy could train anybody to do anything if he knows anything about it. He's such a good and patient trainer. He was always there for 98% of the classes. It wasn't one of those deals where you hear guys say, "Oh, give him the money and never see him again," type of thing.
Right.
He was always there, and I
hands on. And you still what?
I still have access to him. I mean, he's become a friend. We've gotten pretty close over the years, but he's
awesome.
He's a great guy, but anytime I want to ask him something, I consider myself incredibly lucky to have him as a resource bank. Him and Matt Seidel and Big Con.
Okay, now I recently met Jay Lethal, maybe about, let's say in the 6-month range, at a show up here in New Jersey, and he was so nice, man.
Yeah, he's a humble dude. He's just, and he loves baseball. He loves, he's just like he's like a regular dude outside of wrestling. And, when you see him backstage too, he's very approachable. So very genuine.
100%. I agree with that. He was very approachable. Serena says that's why people have nothing but great things to say about Jay. Very true. I think he currently lives up in Jersey nowadays.
Jay?
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
He's down here in Tampa, but I think he goes back and forth sometimes because he's got family up there.
That's it then. All right. Let's go into your first match. Who was your first opponent, and what were your thoughts during your first match?
Oh, man.
And if you tell me it's Jay Lethal, I'm going to lose my shit over here.
Actually, kind of sad but very sweet story. There's a wrestler who came before me, and who had passed away, and we had a memorial show for him, and that was my debut, and it was in a battle royal. So I can't name off half of who my opponents were, but I was able to come in, hit some people with cheese, and I got my very first. It wasn't a full blown stadium filled cheese chant, but I heard a couple of people going cheese, cheese, and it was crazy. The adrenaline still hasn't worn off.
So let everybody know how you attack your opponents with cheese.
Well, there's a lot of different ways. Right here, this here's a cheese stick, so I'm gonna poke you right in the forehead right there, get you going. Maybe I'll take a slice of Kraft cheese, pop you upside the head with it, give you the old cheese, as I call it. Before I give you the say cheese elbow, I'm taking a slice of cheese, and I'm telling everybody to get their cameras out and get ready to say cheese, and then I elbow the cheese deeper into your chest.
Oh, man. Have you ever thought about dropping Velveeta cheese on someone? You know how they drop blood, but Velveeta cheese instead?
Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble for that.
Did you? You did that?
Yeah. There are so many times where I've got yelled at, and I've had just these shouting matches with people who are my best friends, ring canvases, and they're like, "You got all this cheese and it doesn't count." And it's so now I'm having to think of other ways to keep the cheese wrapped so it doesn't go right.
That's great, man. I love it. I gotta see you in action one day, man.
I would love it. Yeah, I'd love to get up where you are.
I know. Have you been up here to the Northeast?
Not yet.
Okay, we're gonna get your name out there to some people. Hopefully, they'll see you on here.
I would love it.
All right, let's get to know an opponent you want to wrestle in the independent scene that you haven't wrestled yet. Why?
Effie, because Effie is represents a lot of different things in wrestling, and he's one of my favorite wrestlers on the scene, and has been for quite some time. But just to be able to get that experience to say that I got to wrestle with Effie.
Bragging rights.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. If you had to have an intergender match, who would you have it with?
Oh man,
I think that's a tough one when I throw that one out.
That is tough, because what I'll be honest, I don't think it makes me a traditionalist, but I'm not it's just the imagery of just having an intergender match. But I would say I would want somebody who would just go to town immediately with offense, where I would just have to be on the defense constantly. I wouldn't want to put defensive moves, but I'd probably say somebody like Deonna Purrazzo, who is just ferocious in her attacks. And yeah, he's
physical.
She would be one that I would just be just let's go in there and let's have a barn burner.
She's tough, man. I saw her back in the early days out here in Long Island, and yeah, she's tough, man.
Yeah, she got down to Florida before. I got to see her in Florida a few times before she got signed by TNA even. Right. And fantastic performer.
Yeah, 100%. All right, type of match you want to be in that you haven't been in yet. How come you want to be in this type of match, and who would the opponent be?
It's a very good question.
Now that I'm thinking, it's got to be cheese related.
So how there are hardcore matches? This would be a cheese core match.
I love it already.
And it would be the canvas would be replaced probably with some kind of neoprene tarp. Cheese all over it, and it would just turn into a big cheese fight where I would just be constantly trying to thwart my would-be opponent with
Oh
cheese.
man, that would be great.
Like I would take cheese slices to a chair, or I would nacho cheese bucket on a pole and pull a string and it come down like gack.
Oh man, that would be great. That's got to be an outdoor event.
Yeah, yeah.
It can't be indoors.
There would be by.
Nobody will allow it indoors, no.
Right. My opponent I'd probably have to say, I would say my good pal and also big arch nemesis, Logan Cruz, who's worked for AEW times.
Okay.
Very popular down here, but I think we would have the most violent fun we could have with cheese.
There is a guy up here, and Serena's bringing him up now. I think cheese versus cheeseburger would be a good match.
Yeah.
There's also a guy out here called Hot Dog Starks.
Oh, I love Hot Dog. I met him recently.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah,
he's hilarious and an amazing wrestler.
Yes.
Like, it was amazing to watch him perform at Fest. And he was so fast and so athletic. But, you know, when he comes out of the ring, he's literally wearing a hot dog suit.
Yeah, he's wearing a hot dog suit, yeah. I love it too, man. All right, Serena's got a question for you. If you had to pick between AEW, TNA, or WWE, where do you think would be the best fit for you?
Well, you know, I'm a little bit sillier. I'm a little bit, I don't take things quite as serious. I would probably say the best fit for me would be an AEW. Because, you know, they seem to like larger than life characters over there. And, you know, they have a very distinctive, what am I trying to say? Character base that they're trying to, you know, so
they let you be more like yourself.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And they just fine tune it a little bit from what I see.
Right.
All right. Now, what does the cheese like to do for fun? Do you collect? Do you have any activities you like to partake in?
You know,
if you say cheese eating contest, I'm gonna lose my shit.
A lot of the things that I do, you know, I have a 17-month-old daughter, the baby Belle. So I enjoy hanging out with her and my wife, most importantly. But I would say stuff outside of that is still kind of cheese based. I host trivia nights, and that's always a lot of fun.
Okay.
Trivia with the cheese, and get to entertain people, but I also get to have fun and interact with the fan base down here. And, you know, I love doing stuff like that. And we live near the beach, so it's always nice to go out there. So there's an outdoors thing for you.
That's pretty cool. All right. Now there's no alligators where you're at, right?
No. I won't say no. They're always lurking in Florida. Like, no matter
where you go to Florida?
Yeah, like there's always a retention pond or something somewhere that there could be a gator lurking. But, you know, I would say I haven't seen one in my neighborhood.
Okay. All right. Now, the 2 times I went to Florida, I didn't see a gator either. But I could have came close because my ex-girlfriend at the time brought me to this like nature reserve. Now, picture this. I'm from freaking Long Island, where there's really nothing but deer out here. I didn't even know there was deer because I lived in Nassau.
I didn't know that.
Is the first part of Long Island, the beginning part, and once you go into deeper Long Island, you see deer out there.
Wow.
So I didn't know there was deer out here till I was well into my 20s. I'm like, what the hell is that? So now I'm in Florida. I'm like the deaf leading the blind or something. I had no idea. I see the sign that says, "Watch out behind you," because there's alligators that could lurk there. And I'm like, look, turn around. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, yo, you got to get me out of this park. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Florida is really big, and I grew up in North Florida, which is basically like South Georgia. It's the same landscape, but the further south you go, the more coastlines there are and the more beaches, but that also brings like a lot of different wildlife. So
Ooh. All right. Now I'm gonna ask you, what type of wildlife?
I mean, if you go like here, there there are a lot of different types of birds. There's a lot of peacocks in the area that I live, actually, and just a lot of different birds and different. Obviously, there's dolphins and stuff in the bay, but if you
Okay.
go down, you go into the Everglades in Miami, and there's like 17 million different species of snake out there. I mean, you
Oh
know,
wow.
it's just crazy. Like maybe that number is an exaggeration, but the amount of wildlife, reptilian and amphibian wildlife in the Everglades is just astounding.
Wow. No bobcats or anything like that, right?
There's bobcats all over Florida. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. We've got all kinds of we've got bears, um, and bobcats and bobcats. Have you ever heard a bobcat uh, howl or cry?
No.
It sounds like a woman, like in distress.
Really?
Like sounds like screaming. Yes,
Wow.
and for we when I grew up, lived out in the woods, and like I said, North Florida, and
Mhm.
me and my dad heard what we thought was this lady, like we thought somebody was like beating her up or something, and we drove down to our neighbor's house. It's like a mile down this dirt road, and we are like, "Is everybody okay?" And they're like, "Yeah." Did y'all hear that yelling, that screaming? They're like, "Oh yeah." They're like, "That's a bobcat." And sure enough, you could hear them, and they would emerge from the woods. So
Oh my God.
you got to be careful out in Florida. Every corner of Florida.
Yikes. All right. Cancel my tickets to Florida. All right. I'm not going there. I'll have to be escorted by someone.
Yeah.
That's funny because when I went down there, like besides my adventure in the park, I don't have like I didn't see anything except ants and manatees. That's the only thing I saw.
Well, manatees are amazing to watch. So are the dolphins. I've only ever lived in Florida. I haven't lived outside of the state. So like it was bound for me to see each one of those animals that I just described.
Right.
Because I've been here for quite a long time. But I would say in your day to day, it'd be pretty rare to see um, just an animal just like right there in your face. Like if
Right.
I live in St. Petersburg, and if I go to downtown St. Pete, I'm more likely to see some fish, you know, going down
Uh-huh.
a drainage ditch on a rainy day than I am to see any other dangerous animals.
Okay. Now this is not the way the conversation I thought was gonna go in our interview right here
Oh, yeah.
about the wildlife in Florida.
I know a lot about Florida, man. Like I said, I've been here forever.
But thank you for the warning. I mean the information. I appreciate that. Christy says she was in Alabama the first time she ever heard, I guess, the bobcat howl.
Oh, yeah. So she knows what I'm talking about. Like dude. I just think about it sometimes and I cringe. I'm like, why?
Yeah, me too. I would cringe too.
Scary.
It's scary. That's scary, especially from a Long Island guy like me that only sees deer.
I wonder. I never knew that y'all had deer up there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, most of my childhood I was like sheltered from my parents because I go to Suffolk County out here in Long Island. My first time, like, what the hell is that big animal over there? And they're like, oh, that's just deer. I'm like, what? It's deer on Long Island. Had no clue. You don't see that stuff. You don't see that stuff in the first part of Long Island. You
I
don't see any
wouldn't.
of that stuff.
Here's my hope for what's happening right now. I hope that somebody is just tuning into this. If it's a live stream, right?
Yes.
They're like, I was hoping they would have a conversation at least about cheese, but they're talking about deer. They're talking about,
I bet you never had this discussion on a podcast before, huh?
I love it. I love it.
Oh man, one time I was talking to some guy. His name is Jocko. He's up here from New Jersey, and we just started talking about cheeseburgers, and just with like a good 10, 15 minutes on just cheeseburgers.
That's a good conversation.
I think that's what makes my podcast a little different, because sometimes we just get off topic and just discuss life.
I like that. I love that freestyle format, man. Makes
Christy over here is in tears. She's probably like, what the fuck are these guys talking about wildlife for? It's supposed to be about wrestling.
Yeah. You talk with the cheese, you're not talking about wrestling that
That's
much.
right. So, all right, we'll get back into wrestling. We'll leave the wildlife for another time. Let's talk about your experience working with NWA. How has that been for you?
It's been a really good learning experience. I've really met some really nice people that were there, and it was a great opportunity to be on the CW app, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of unique exposure.
Right.
Myself and my tag team partner, Mr. Mike Orlando, the Green Machine. Shout out to Mike. He's a good friend of mine.
Shout out to Mike.
But it also kind of coincided with the time that I had the unique and rare opportunity to be part of the Tampa Bay Rays City Connect commercial.
Okay.
So while I was doing the NWA stuff, or maybe right after I was filming NWA the last time they were in Tampa filming here, I got approached by the Rays, and they wanted to make what's really so the concept of the City Connect jerseys for each.
No, but let everybody know.
No, the Major League Baseball, it's like City Connect jerseys. It's like a thing that every team does, every club does. In Major League Baseball, like I don't know how many years I haven't watched baseball regularly in a long.
Me neither.
So I used to love it as a kid. So it was kind of a double whammy of dreams coming true, where they wanted to, for their City Connect jerseys debut, they wanted to kind of weave pro wrestling into the fabric of Tampa Bay as its part. They had a lot of people kite surfing and skateboarding and going to weird and funky museums and exhibits we have in St. Pete and stuff like that. And I was the guy that's suplexed my friend Logan Cruz, who I mentioned earlier. I like the camera just zooms in and I'm there getting ready to do a suplex on Logan, and it's a really cool moment for that, because that just kind of validates the history of pro wrestling in the Tampa Bay area. So
that's awesome.
That got a lot of attention, and continues to get a lot of attention because they've shown that commercial on national TV and they put at every game. And so I get, like, every day I get somebody new that I know that's just like, hey, did I just see you on big screen over here at Tropicana Field? I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's good stuff, man. Congratulations, man.
It's fun. Very proud of it.
Hopefully more collaborations with you and the NWA as well.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what we got.
Yeah. They got the Crockett Cup going on right now.
Yeah. That was something that we were angling to be a part of, but I don't know what's going to happen next. No spoilers.
No spoilers. All right. Now, tell me about your first meeting Billy Corgan.
When I first met him, it was the day before they did an event called Return to Robarts in Sarasota, Florida. That's just a little bit of me. And he introduced himself. It was interesting to meet him, and because I grew up listening to Smashing Pumpkins, so that was kind of a cool little surreal moment. And then interacting with him, he's very busy. He's got a million things he's doing. He's kind of running around. He's talking to different people, so I didn't have much of an opportunity to connect with him like on a higher level. But, every time I was, he would be very cordial. And last time I was, or the previous Tampa tapings, he seemed to be impressed with the crowd that I brought to the tapings, and he said, "Hey, if you got something, he said, if you keep having crowd reactions like that, I'm gonna have something more important for you. And I said, okay.
All right.
And so he did, and that was like we got we got to be part of the play-in for the Crockett Cup. So we got to actually, compete to be in the Crockett Cup. So, like I said, what happens next if you're keeping up with NWA Power?
Keep up Power on the CW app.
Yeah, CW easy. Then no subscription required.
No subscription required, and it's free, man. That's the best part.
Yeah, free wrestling. What's better than that?
Nothing's better than free wrestling. It's not free to go to the shows, but it's free to watch it on TV.
No, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Want to give a shout out to my pals, the Slime Balls.
Oh, yeah.
NWA, Slime Ball City.
Right on.
All right. Serena says, people really usually don't hear much wrestling in Florida, so I'm glad that you guys are pushing wrestling out there.
The independent scene in Florida is really astoundingly healthy. You hear a lot of different things. I won't mind telling you, and I think anyone on the scene would tell you that some promotions are run better than others. Some promotions have more of a crowd. They've tapped into their audience and their community. But I'm proud to say I work for all the best ones.
All right. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Last question. What does the Cheese have set himself up for in 2024? What goals have you set for yourself?
Well, I'm checking boxes. I got to be on national TV, so that's happened.
Okay.
That's been one of my ultimate goals: be on national TV for wrestling. I've done it. I'm so proud. That's why I went on and on about the Rays thing. And
my cat is shaking the table over here. Hold on. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Is the cat okay?
Yeah, I'm in a. Even though it looks like I'm in a fancy house, I'm in a laptop on my tray, and there's a tray next to me with my son's stuff, his laptop, and the cat just decided to jump on there and just start playing with my table. But he's okay.
That's fantastic.
He was rescued, so he's good.
Good.
Yeah, he was a real skinny little thing, man. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this poor cat? Like, my friend had him, and my ex-friend now, because of the cat. And this cat ate for an hour straight. I'm not even exaggerating. An hour straight. I'm like,
so did you on this cat and take it with you?
Yeah, what happened was he used to be my cat. Then my friend took him. I had a different cat because I had a baby at that point. And he called me one day. He's like, hey, listen, I have to move. I need you to find a home for this cat. And I'm like, all right. Well, I mean, if you took him, you should find the home for him. But all right, whatever. So I couldn't find anything. I just said, listen, I'll just come pick him up. And I'll try to find him a home from my home. Even though I'm not supposed to have two cats. I'm supposed to have one.
Right.
So I pick him up and I'm like, see him, he's so skinny. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this cat? So that's when I brought him home and gave him food, and he just went to town for an hour. And I wish I could say I was exaggerating, but it was like an hour he ate. Whether it be crunchies, wet food, he just ate. And now he's getting plump because he's eating all the time.
Plump boy.
But he's a good kitty.
Good.
So, yeah, I got to find him a home.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. That is my situation over here, and not exactly a bobcat situation like you got going on down there, but
yeah, you're not running for your life. So
I'm not running for my life over here. Not yet. All right. Let everybody know where they can follow you, where they can get your merchandise.
If you'll go to devotedbrand.com, you can get all the Cheese shirts and hats.
Sweet.
I partner with, shout out to my good brother, Michael Biller. Really good friend of mine. He's my sponsor and he's one of my best friends. He's just a super family guy, and he has a shop in Palm Coast, Florida. And so he does my merch for my shirts and stuff. at devotedbrand.com. And you can find me on Instagram at the Cheese Pro. If you go to the artist formerly known as Twitter, you can find me at the Cheese PW. And on Facebook, just search for the Cheese Pro Wrestler.
All right. Now, someone has decided to drop in a question for you, so we'll bring that up real quick. Question for the Cheese. If you could start all over again and have your first match, who would you have want to go against, seeing that you have been in the ring with now?
Whew, man. Yeah, I wasn't very good when I first started, so I didn't have a lot of confidence. But if there's a guy that I can go in there, anytime, there's a couple of guys like this that I could go in the ring anytime with. But the guy that I named earlier, Logan Cruz, we started training together, and he's someone that could, really knows, really knows how to bring the fire out of old Cheese in the ring. Let's just put it like that.
Nice. Good stuff, Cheese. Now, before I go into my stuff, let's sum up our interview. We talked about your upcoming promotions you're working at, your spot at NWA, and the Florida wildlife, and my cat situation.
I want to hear more about your cat. I feel like I need to call you and check on that cat.
This is riveting podcasting right here.
I love it.
Oh, man. You don't even know, because this cat that I brought him back, he lived here at one point with another cat who we decided, because she would howl so much, and she would just like go nuts. My son didn't want to deal with her, so he's like, all right, we'll just let her out and let her back in. And she was going around town getting busy.
Buddy, let me tell you, you got a lot of cats.
Oh, man. And she came back, and she was pregnant, and she gave birth, and there was like a bunch of cats in here at one point. So we were able to give all the babies away, and our friend took the mom, a different friend, and then took her to Florida with the bobcats over there. No. And the other cat, the male cat, that's not the father because he's fixed, he went to live with my friend, and we took one of the babies. And now it's like a full circle moment. They both came back together. But it's like they were strangers, because in the beginning, got along really well. But when they first started to go back, it was a nightmare. They're all hissing at each other. It's crazy. Drew went everywhere. And now to this day, the other cat, the baby cat, is now an adult, fucks with him all the time. And won't leave him alone. So he runs away from him and hides with us in this room. So now you can tell all your buddies that you went on this podcast and you talked about wildlife and cats.
Listen, guys, it's a fun podcast. You should go on there, but have some cat material.
That's right. All right, let's get back to wrestling. Out now on my YouTube channel is Papa Dank Vlogs, the premiere episode, since it morphed from vlog interaction, where I am hanging out with Cowboy Bob Orton, who got inducted into the St. Louis Hall of Fame not too long ago, where his son Randy Orton was there. So you'll see that Hall of Fame speech that he gave in the vlog, and also you'll see Bill Apter, look at that, attacking me with his championship, trying to steal the 23-6 YouTube Heavyweight Championship from me, Cheese. Have you ever seen a title so beautiful as the 23-6 YouTube Heavyweight Championship?
I love it. It is so beautiful.
It is beautiful, and no one has tried to beat me, so that's good. When my son had it, he used to lose it all the time to all these different wrestlers. I'm like, I just got to take it back. And
I need to get up there.
And it won't go anywhere, but he kept losing it. This Saturday, I will be at Titan Championship Wrestling presents Seaside Showdown right on the boardwalk at Seaside Heights, where, the world famous Jersey Shore show was filmed. So we'll be at Beachcomber Bar and Grill hanging out from 1 to 4, as the meet and greet's at 1 and the show starts at 2. And I'm going to scoot down the road and hang out with the world famous SATs, the Maximo brothers, for Winner's Circle, their promotion, as I am the backstage interviewer for that promotion. And that is going to be one banger of a show. After that, I'm going on the following week to Victory Pro Wrestling presents Summer Showdown. And Gabby Ortiz from Monster Factory returns to face the VPW Women's Champion, Kai McKenna, who's coming all the way from Maryland. Whew, man, I'm running out of breath, man. Then comes Wrestle Hell from NYWC and SWA. That is Friday, June 14th. Make sure you go to SWA Wrestling to get your tickets for that event. Wrestle Hell, man. And then there's another show I know, I just don't know the date, and that's NYWC itself later on at the end of June. So make sure you go to NYWC Wrestling for more information. And then also at the end of the month, cheese, the first ever Elimination Chamber match in the Indies.
Ooh.
Right there, Remarkable Wrestling's Chamber of Horrors, Saturday, June 29th. Make sure you get your tickets for that. I'm sure that place is going to be jam-packed, as it's a one-of-a-kind match on the Indies.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's crazy, right? Woo. And coming soon on my YouTube channel, Papa Neck Vlogs Episode 2, Rise of the Dank, as someone went through my table over there. What the hell?
Oh.
That table cost me $50. There's no insurance on the table. The tables went in the garbage.
Definitely no insurance.
A lot of stuff going on. Also follow my friends at SICW Wrestling as the Papa Neck commercial runs with their program all the way in Missouri. As you can see, Cowboy Bob Orton is there. And that dastardly Stephen E., who wants to revoke the 18th Amendment, cheese.
What?
What? He said it on my show.
Oh, my
that
God.
This should be revoked.
Jesus.
That women should stand behind him. I'm like, what are you, crazy? What are you doing?
I don't like that.
Oh, man, that guy was getting threats all over, man. I had to stay 5 feet behind him just so I don't get, shot at or something.
It's that heat.
That's right. Catch that heat. All right, Cheese, hold on for a minute. Everybody else, I'll be back tomorrow with Ox Adams for Wrestling Is Now. Stay tuned for that as he will take on Joey Conway, the win